Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News Refresh on Arizona PBS. I'm Caitlin Keenahan. Thank you for joining us. A Pinal County judge has dismissed another lawsuit that sought to decertify Democratic President-elect Joe Biden's win in Arizona. Pinal County resident Stacy Burke brought the case forward without participating in the election or being registered to vote. The judge threw out the suit for those reasons and because Burke made her legal challenge after the 5-day period for contesting election results had passed. The decision comes a day after Arizona's 11 electoral college members cast their votes for Joe Biden. Biden won the state over Republican President Donald Trump by more than 10,000 votes. While holiday shopping has many of us stressed, the increase in shoppers is still taking a toll on store employees as well. A new report from the University of Arizona found that 20% of Arizona grocery workers have experienced severe levels of mental distress during the COVID-19 pandemic. One of the major sources of that distress has been customer behavior, especially when it comes to safety measures like wearing a mask in the store. Here's what's trending today. The Federal Drug Administration says its preliminary analysis confirms the effectiveness and safety of the Moderna vaccine for COVID-19. This creates a second vaccine option for people in the United States. The talk on Twitter? Well, this is from Carolina Yang. She says she worries that there will not be enough vaccine doses to get to high-risk adults 65 years and older. In the state of Arizona, the first two groups to receive the vaccinations will be healthcare personnel and people living in long-term care facilities. According to the Arizona Department of Health Services, it will be in Phase 1, Part 3 that it will be distributed to adults 65 and older. Weekly allocations of the vaccine are expected, allowing more and more people to be vaccinated each week. The vaccine comes at a crucial time, right in the midst of the holiday season. And speaking of, it's the 6th night of Hanukkah, and that's what's trending on TikTok. You can see here Ava Stonick got 70.5 thousand likes for her decorations and Hanukkah spirit. Also on the topic of the holidays, ABC 15 captured a video of Santa Claus flying over the valley in a hot air balloon. You can see him waving to all the kids below. Michelle Burnett commented on this post saying, "My daughter came, woke me up super excited. He was right above our yard." And Bambi Riker commented saying, "What a talented man that Santa. A side gig of air balloon pilot is very impressive." I have to agree with Bambi, it is extremely impressive, but Santa is a man of many talents, and I guess we could add air balloon pilot to the list. They say that one man's trash is another's treasure. Well, at Apache Junction landfill, the treasure is longtime worker Joe Romero. Cronkite News reporter Sarandon Raboyne brings us along to the celebration of Joe's decades-long service.
Joe Romero has spent the last 4 decades working tirelessly for Republic Services at the Apache Junction landfill.
38 years ago, there was virtually nothing here, and now we have the highest point in Apache Junction, and it was literally built by Joe.
But Joe is hanging up his hat for the new year and retiring. To celebrate his massive achievements throughout the years, Republic Services surprised him by dedicating the Scale House, the place where incoming trucks get weighed before being admitted into the disposal area, to him.
Joe's gotten up before sunrise for 38 years and come here and given us literal blood, sweat, and tears. And you know, it's too much to just say thanks and a handshake and a pat on the back. We really wanted to kind of surprise him with something. And
along with the Scale House, Joe received signed work shirts from his colleagues, a miniature compactor, and a watch to wish him a happy retirement. Joe would have never believed he would have made such an impact when he first started all those years ago.
I would have laughed and said, "Yeah, you're crazy." I still think it's crazy. I appreciate it, though.
And after 38 years of service, Joe looks forward to spending time with his family.
Take a little time, just relax and take my grandkids camping.
But even though Joe will be moving on to the next chapter in his life, the memory of his hard work and dedication will live on.
But Joe will definitely be missed, and that's what this is all about. When people come into work, they're going to get a reminder of Joe, even a few years down the road, and hopefully they smile a little bit.
Recognizing the job that essential workers like Joe do has become more important than ever. Reporting from Apache Junction, Sarandon Raboyne, Cronkite News.
Joe Romero will be officially retiring on his 68th birthday, which is January 3rd. Coming up on Cronkite News, this year's election looked different from any other. We'll take a look at how young voters found ways to stay connected and increase voter turnout in this year's election. And on Break It Down, how we can be better negotiators.
The great thing is to last and get your work done. And see and hear and learn and understand. And write when there is something that you know, and not before, and not too damned much after.
Coming in April to Arizona PBS.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free Pbs Video App. Simply download the Pbs Video App on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. And when you support your local station, you can get PBS Passport, giving you access to more episodes, more specials, more of what you love. Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free Pbs Video App. Simply download the Pbs Video App on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. And when you support your local station, you can get PBS Passport, giving you access to more episodes, more specials, more of what you love.
There's never been a more important time to make sure facts and the truth are driving conversation. Washington Week is an island of civil discourse in a chaotic media environment. On Friday nights, we gather the best reporters in the nation to unpack what's really happening and have a conversation that's not about point of view, but about informing the American people.
Washington Week.
All new Friday night at 7 on Arizona PBS.
So where did it all start for you, wanting to be a vet?
There was a small city farm at the back of my school. I developed a real love for the animals there.
Ah, well, you see, the animals are the easy part. It's the people cause all the bother.
All creatures, great and small. On Masterpiece.
Coming in January to Arizona PBS.
The debate stage is not the only place McSally and Kelly have squared off. In one of the most expensive Senate races in the nation, the two are advertising heavily. But McSally has only recently started advertising on Spanish-language TV stations, as Cronkite News reporter Maithli Gubi reports from our Washington bureau.
Arizona Senator Martha McSally ran her first Spanish-language TV ads at the end of September, 2 months and hundreds of $1,000s behind her Democratic challenger, Mark Kelly.
It's a little late, frankly, because the Hispanic vote is the largest minority group population as a voter segment. However, you have to put in more time.
Despite the late TV start, the McSally campaign says it has been doing vigorous outreach to Hispanics, running ads on digital platforms and calling voters in Spanish, attending events with Hispanic religious groups and business leaders, and winning the endorsement of a group of Hispanic faith leaders. Political scientist Lisa Magana says that while TV ads are one way to reach Hispanic voters, they're not the only way.
What we've seen has been really successful are grassroots organizing and targeting Latino voters, getting them registered. So we know that if you register and you keep on focusing on this group, which we haven't been, right, that has been really effective. And that's what we've seen in Arizona.
In the past 2 weeks, McSally spent about $100,000 on her Spanish TV ads, according to reports to the Federal Communications Commission. But Kelly has spent almost $500,000 since July for ads on Univision and Telemundo stations across the state. Part of the reason could be that Kelly has raised millions more than McSally and has millions more to spend.
Definitely has a lot less resources than Mark Kelly, which is interesting because here in traditionally Republican Arizona, to see a Democrat not only out raising and spending the incumbent Republican, but significantly outraising and outspending her.
McSally's Spanish ad makes the same pitch to voters as her English ads, about supporting small businesses during the pandemic and criticizing Kelly as dangerous for Arizona. Kelly's Spanish language ads talk about a path to citizenship for dreamers, support for small businesses, encouraging people to vote, and the need for independent leadership in Washington. Magaña says Kelly's messaging might be more effective with Latino voters.
I've heard the ones from Mark Kelly. And again, very moderate. I think, again, smartly playing to constituents in Arizona.
McSally did not appear to run Spanish ads in her 2018 campaign, according to FCC filings, but Latino voters are getting more attention from all quarters these days, Magaña says.
We know that voter registration for these Latinos in Arizona have been going up 100%, just incredible turnout. We know that part of it is because of more outreach that we hadn't seen before in the Latino community.
But Noble wonders if McSally's ads will be too little, too late.
I mean, when you're doing this, 2 weeks before ballots get dropped in the mail, I think it kind of seems, if from their point of view, it's more, where were you 6 months ago or 2 years ago, communicating with them. So I think with this push late on, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Kelly does not appear to be easing up. Between now and the election, FCC filings show his campaign has ordered as much as $100,000 of Spanish TV ads on Univision. In Washington, Maitili Gobi, Cronkite News.
In their last reports with the Federal Election Commission in June, McSally and Kelly reported raising a whopping $76 million, when Kelly reported raising $46 million to McSally's $30 million. And those numbers will go up this week when new campaign numbers are expected to be out.
It's no secret 2020 brought about changes in our daily lives. With many aspects of our lives becoming virtual, presidential candidates are adapting to the times by creating apps for supporters to stay in touch and by holding virtual rallies. Cronkite News reporter Milan Andrade explains how young voters are finding ways to stay connected with one another and increase voter turnout.
Not social distancing, wearing no masks, and long voting lines are a thing of the past. Both presidential candidates have created apps for their supporters to stay connected, donate to their party, and get helpful tips on their campaign. With campaigns becoming more digital, ASU Young Democrats board member John Adamson believes this will impact young voter turnout for this election.
We'll see. I think we will see an increase. And I think it's something we're eventually gradually getting to, because people who are young, a couple years younger than us, will see our enthusiasm, and then it just builds from there and there.
Young voters are encouraged to take part in this year's election, both on a local and national level. Arizona residents also have the option of receiving an early ballot to vote by mail to ensure staying socially distant during these times.
There's some concerns that voting might be impacted by, this fear of the virus. But I think like 80% of Arizona votes by mail, or at least receives early ballots. So like a big percentage of Arizona already receives early ballots. So whether it's they mail them in or drop them off.
According to NPR, Arizona is being considered a swing state in the presidential race. And Joe Pitts, president of ASU College of Republicans, is saying that their members are staying connected through local campaigns in a safe way, not only to stay engaged, but to educate others.
Keep updated by reaching out to campaigns. For instance, we have the McSally office down here in Tempe, which we make sure we limit the capacity. We never go more than 10 people, including the staff there, all masking up. But we're able to make calls for the senators socially distanced. And so doing stuff like that, going to socially distanced fundraisers and different events like that have been able to keep us engaged as well as our membership engaged.
Aside from attending in-person events, members are using various social media platforms to stay connected.
I mean, I think to some degree the pandemic has made a lot of people a lot more aware of political issues just because of social media. So a lot of the news I get and my members get from about the election, even on the local level, will come from Twitter and Facebook and groups we're already members of on those specific platforms. But also, it's just a matter of keeping up old connections.
Both parties are using a variety of platforms to connect with voters, on social, online, and in person. Milan Andrade, Cronkite News.
Staying informed on elections and registering to vote will be crucial for Arizonans this election. To update your voter registration or to get registered, visit azsos.com for more information.
High school football in the Valley is just a few days away from making its return, and fans are eager to get in on the action. Reporter Abigail Shipley spoke with district athletic directors about how they're regulating fans in attendance this fall.
As high school coaches prepare their players for kickoff, district athletic directors are preparing to let fans safely make a return back to the stands.
You know, some school districts are doing different things. We think this is probably the best way of going about it. So we're going to have 2 tickets per athlete.
Each district is making their own decision regarding how many fans are allowed back at each stadium. Tempe and Scottsdale Unified will allow 2 tickets per athlete, and Mesa Unified will allow 4 tickets per athlete. Established safety protocols include designated sections for fans.
We've taped off the bleachers, so kind of in sections of like either 6 feet or 8 feet, kind of created little pod type things.
We are going to set up the gym in the stadium so that there will be social distancing marked so that the people can understand where they need to sit.
With a limited amount of tickets available per player, the stands are going to look a little different this season. Players are going to have to pick and choose who gets to come sit 6 feet apart and watch them play.
There's a lot of our players too that, you know, yeah, they've got mom and dad, but they also have grandparents, or maybe parents are divorced and you know, they've got a split family, or, you know, they've got, you know, we've got families that have 4 and 5 kids.
It's disappointing, obviously, because we'd like to have a lot more people there to bring a lot more energy in the stadium. And I've got grandparents who have never missed a game before, and now they're going to miss games because they're not going to be allowed.
Despite the changes, coaches and players are still excited to get back out there and do what they love.
At the end of the day, you know, they're playing football, important games with, you know, a lot on the line. They're going to be ready to go. They're going to be fired up.
I don't think anyone's really concerned with how many people are going to be there or what it's going to look like. I think everyone just wants to play football again.
The roar of the crowd might not be as loud, but Friday Night Lights are back. Abigail Shipley, Cronkite News.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.